Whoa. Wait.
Tricky mate. Hello? What the heck is that? Oh my god. Ram just made it. Oh my goodness. This is really unbelievable.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Take It to the Max show. This is Grandmaster Max Dlugy, and sorry for starting a little bit late today, but I couldn't stop watching those boring endgames. Of course, still a lot of fun looking at chess in any case. Anyway, here we are, and we're going to play some 5-minute chess in the 5-minute pool and see how it all goes. And if it goes well, then it'll be a good day for me, and if not, then you can cheer my opponents. Anyway, let's see. I noticed, by the way, recently, even though clearly the players are very strong, there's been more draws than some other years in these top tournaments. Like the Bilbao tournament basically just had Magnus Carlsen having most of the decisive results in the whole tournament, which is kind of amazing, with 5 wins against, I think, 2 or 3 for the whole other field. And we may be experiencing a similar type of situation here. I think the reason is that there are too many people getting too good, and they're really playing it very close to the vest. And it's hard to win against these guys. They just have all the resources available to them not to lose games. And, you know, losing games drops them down quite a bit, so they try not to. Anyway, that's just me babbling about what's happening in the chess world. But meanwhile, I'm trying to get a game in the 5-minute pool. And as I'm waiting for that, just trying to relate some of the things that are going on. By the way, I did start a chess school in Manhattan, so if any of you watching from Manhattan, you can check it out on my site, which is just my last name.com, dlugy.com, and see if you can come in to play blitz tournaments, so hear a lecture or take a class or two. Anyway, that's still babbling, but boom, now we have someone to play. So here we are, d4, bishop f4, and I'm in my element, so to speak. Okay, let's play knight c3 for now, and e4. Okay, good. Got myself a nice perk defense to fight, and on this one I think I'm gonna play d5. I like this move a lot, because yeah, this is interesting, and I played against this before. I'm gonna take this knight, take this pawn, and probably check this. This even helps me by saying check. That's nice. Check this bishop. Okay, now let's okay, queen takes pawn is possible. That does win a pawn, so I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that beautiful pawn and defend my knight on c3, and I don't really see that big of a compensation for that pawn, I have to say. I mean, obviously the big bad bishop on g7 is compensation, but is it enough? I'm not so sure. So let's see. Okay, so black wants to attack it. I'm gonna play f3 when he does. Meanwhile, time to castle, right? Okay, that's a neat move. Threatening to do some damage. Okay, I'm gonna retreat my bishop ever so lightly, not too far, because I do want to control some ideas of blocks, such as f5, for example, and so forth. Talking about f5, here it is coming at you. So f5 is coming. Maybe I should play b4, knight e4. Complicated, not that complicated. b4, knight e6, queen d2. Yeah, interesting. F5 is coming, right? So if I play knight g3, then f5 is no longer coming. So that's what I'm going to do. Knight g3. Stop f5 for good. For now, anyway. Of course, black could try h5, h4. That will give me something else to do. That will be weakness of serious proportions. Okay, that's a nice move. That just gets defended like so. Maybe like so. Yeah, I don't want to really deal with that for too long, so I'm gonna just move my bishop to a defendable position and seal that b file. I'm not afraid to give up. Okay, that's fine. That's two moves. Now I'm going to play rook b1 finally to defend. And here I was thinking a3 is fine to kick that rook away, and then I can move my bishop now that I played rook b1. Bishop to d5 to seal the fate of this bishop on a8 in a way. Seal it by having black play c6 and weaken his deep one, or by trading, which is fine. Okay, now the bishop goes back to a2 and all is good. No bishop, no real bishop on a8 is looking at me in a serious way anymore. And now rook d1 is what I'm thinking of doing, threatening that d pawn. That's fine. Now probably just queen d2. Now the a pawn is a bit weak too, right? So now maybe I can play for knight e2 something like that. In any case, I can maybe just play f4. That's a much more relevant idea. I think f4 to win the d pawn is a simple idea. Okay, so my knight's obviously done its deed on g3. Not really afraid of f5 anymore. I can release the pressure now that the bishop is stuck on a8 behind the c pawn. Well, that's nice, but I'm gonna definitely deal with that one and then play f4. There we go. Kick everybody away. Okay, now I can win maybe the pawn on d6. The other thing I can do is maybe get at this queen, which is a bit newsome. Queen d6 though, it looks interesting. Queen d6 and queen has to go to e7. That's not a very hot move. Probably should not take them. But black wants to play something like d5 and open up the position. That's a bit unfortunate. Okay, I'm gonna take this knight because I want black's pieces to be. I don't want black to play rook d8. Basically, that's why. And now I'm gonna take the pawn with tempo. That was my idea. And the key is to kick that, make that queen, make that knight, that is, that pawn, that bishop, on e8. In other words, to stop c5, that's the key. That was the key, and I did it, and I'm happy. Two pawns up. What does the black have to show for it? Okay, I can play king g2, I think, and h3. On h4 I can just play h3 and g4. Alright, it's time to hit that queen. It's too close for comfort, and time to block out that. Actually, wait, rook d6 is another nice move, but queen e7. So let's bring the knight into the game here. And now king h2. I don't want to rook b5 to happen to me. Okay, that's nowhere that I understand. So e5. Oh my god, I cannot believe I blundered again. That's a really serious blunder. Can't believe I did that. Did I just blunder my queen? Oh boy, how do I do that? Seriously, how do I do that? Alright, playing a queen down now. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Wonderful and blunderful. Yeah, and black knows exactly what he's doing. Like he was waiting for that. Like he was waiting for that blunder. Like those blunders happen every day, right? Excellent, excellent, excellent. Maybe those blunders do happen every day. Unbelievable. Well, that's the way it is sometimes. You play a good game, then you blunder, and then you lose. That's how it's. That's what it's all about. Pretty bad. Okay, what do I do on that? Well, nothing much to do. Wow. Yep. Oh boy. And I won on time, didn't I? Yes. Oh my god. I can't believe I did that. But thank you for pointing out that rook h1 would be made. Black forfeits on time. Wow, that's cool. Game on white has been checkmated. How does that work? Well, I guess I won. Yeah, looks like I did actually, but that's crazy because I don't know what happened to my opponent. He suddenly started lagging or whatever it was, but sometimes things like that do happen. Now, what was happening in this game? Now, I thought it was pretty complicated, and definitely black had some compensation, but then I managed to, like here, I think h5 maybe was a good move to try to get some counterplay, maybe even some move like bishop h6 trying to get to this b pawn, but black played bishop a8, bishop b3, and then went to get some counterplay on the queen side. I stopped it a bit, then he came out with the rook, then I hit him, and so far it's a complicated position. And then I played bishop d5 to relieve the pressure against the e4 pawn, and basically to create this. And here I think I was already better, and then I started trying to make this a real weakness, already threatening f4. Black played queen h4, I played g3, queen h3, f4, bishop g7. Here I didn't really want to take immediately because I was kind of worried about rook d8, but maybe actually then I could have taken on e6. I don't know, I somehow missed that idea, and I played bishop takes e6 first and then took on d6, still with a good position, I thought. Now I blocked this bishop basically by playing bishop queen c5. Black played h5. Now I played king g2 to kick this queen out, rook e8, and then you saw what happened. Then I was going completely in the wrong direction at a moment when I was already doing very well. So, oh well. Okay, let's try to exchange bishops immediately then. Sure. Okay. Alright, so white's going bishop f4, I'm going queen b4. Happy to exchange queens, see if that's what white wants. If that's not what white wants, I'm also happy to keep the queens on the board. I'm really extremely easy to make a deal with here. Yep, no problem. Let's keep them. All right, and okay, let's just develop with bishop e7. I'm a little bit worried about bishop c7, but probably there's something good that I could do on that, so I allowed that to happen if white wanted to. Basically, I think pretty safe position here for myself. Not much to worry about. Should I play a5 immediately? Maybe knight d5. I'll just castle, I think. I'm just gonna castle. Okay, now knight d5 makes sense. Now that white kind of invested a lot of time into doing something on the queen side, it's time to create. Okay, bishop d2, cool. Now a5 b5, right? And then I can take on a maybe queen c7 now, yeah, to just control that diagonal bit. And then I can play moves like a5. Okay, so now on c4, well, I don't know about a5. What a pawn takes on that? Maybe I should just play b5. Maybe that's the cool move to do. Yeah, exchange these weaknesses one for another. How's this? Is this any good? Interesting. Anyway, let's see. Okay, well, let's put a rook to defend that c pawn, so my queen can be freed to do something else. I'm not sure I actually like what I did, to be honest with you. Alright, I'm gonna exchange this strong knight of e4. I think that's the next step. Maybe get a little more clearance towards the d4 pawn that way. And if white doesn't exchange, maybe I can make some weaknesses with knight g4 on the king side. It's another possibility. And knight c5, maybe even e5. Maybe knight g4 first. Knight g4, g3. And okay, some interesting things are going on. Yeah, maybe h5 to kind of point out that there's something else going on in the position. Okay, if white wants to take, that's fine. Oh, I see. He wants to take one. He wants to take where I don't want him to take. So maybe I should exchange. Okay, let me exchange and exchange some more. The fewer pieces on the board, the weaker the d4 pawn becomes as well. So the weaknesses, okay, kind of net themselves out. Should I play queen d8, queen d5? Yeah, I think I should. That would not be a bad trade. All right, let's see how this ending works out. Aha, that's a nice move. I missed it. Okay, so I'm gonna attack the knight. Ooh, where's that going? I see rook b8, rook c7 is possible, yeah. And if I go here, okay. Now what? Now my knight is going to f5, yeah. And okay, now a5 is coming. Okay, thinking. Okay, first let's pin this guy, I think. Now let's attack the b pawn. Take, and here. Wow. Am I just lost here? Oh boy, what's going on? If I run away? I think I'm just lost. How did that happen? Okay, now. Huh. You know, I think I have to play descending here. I don't see defense after rook a1. And so I'm just gonna go for that. Second lost position, virtually lost in a row. That's nice. Okay, let's bring the rook back. Don't even know how that happened. I evaluated this one. Keep that knight away. Okay, bring my king in at least. Okay, f6. So I can try to exchange some of these pawns off. Okay, well, let's first let's try to. Why do I have no time too? I don't understand why my time is so running away so quickly. Really unbelievable. Okay, let's see how this goes. Now what? Okay, now no one has time here. This looks like a draw. I'll play for a win though, because that's the kind of guy I am. Let's checkmate. I just blundered checkmate. Didn't happen. Still playing. That's already winning, actually, if I played correctly. And I won on time. Well, that's why I used to be a good blitz player, because I can figure out when to start moving fast. Hey, did you buy that? Seriously, this was pretty bad. Alright, so what happened was, I don't know, I had a pretty equal position. When I decided to... Well, actually, white did get something here. Because white was trying to get some sort of a space advantage. And I mean, usually in such positions, black just exchanges pieces and stuff. I played queen c7, and then I played b5. This was an interesting idea, but okay, anyway. Didn't work out. Somehow I got this pawn became very, very strong that white had, and I felt I had to actually sacrifice to survive. Well, amazing. Anyway, I'm a pawn up. Here we go. And there it is. There's my pawn. There's my extra pawn. How happy I am to have it there. See, I got myself an extra pawn. A little check for you, a little knight for you, and a little check for you. Yeah, let's play this position. It's interesting. What does white do? Only moves king e7. Obviously, black is completely lost. If he puts anything on d7, c6, and c7. So that was fast for an opening start. But okay. Anything can happen after this. That's just the start of this position. So let's see if black finds king e7 to start off. A bit unpleasant to start playing with the king by move 9. Guess queen a7 check is a bit of a threat here. Black probably has to react to that one too. Okay, now let's really get my knight out here to stop knight e4 and stop queen e5 maybe. Okay, well, queen e5 I sort of stopped. It's not fully, right? Knight f3 is still in the air now. Big idea is knight f3 here. Second big idea is queen a7 check, knight f3, and knight b5, winning a rook, maybe. It looks like it though, but who knows? There's something, a b4 check coming. So, no rush ideas. Okay, attack the queen. See where it goes. On knight takes knight I had queen e7 in mind, and on this move I had knight b5 in mind. And on queen d8 I had c7 in mind. And on resigns I had another game to play in mind, and that's exactly what's happening here. Now what happened? Oh my god, what happened? Okay, so pawn takes pawn e6 b4. Alright, a5 c3. And then okay, anyway, then you saw what happened. It was pretty bad, basically, right? Okay, next game, Rainmaker. My friend Rainmaker. Let's play the King's Indian if you want. Okay, I'll play the King's Indian. You play... I'll play against the King's Indian. You play the King's Indian attack. I don't mind. Either way. Playing against it or with it. I don't mind. Alright, knight takes pawn. I think black should be able to hold. And with black holds, it'll be just a Queen's Indian. That extra tempo won't mean that much. Of course, there are some lines where white can just exchange everything and equalize using that extra tempo, but otherwise, other than that, it's okay. Now, should my knight just return to b6? Or maybe c7? I think b6 is reasonable. So I can hit that queen and get that tempo back with bishop e6. I may be threatening to take on d3, who knows. Yeah, well, it's an interesting position. Queen on b3 is quite a normal move, but now the question is, how does the d pawn get defended? Okay, white could play knight e4, of course. Black could then play bishop e6 and maybe c4. Okay, queen d5, interesting way to defend and counter attack at the same time. Uh-huh. Okay. Interesting. Should I play bishop f8? Maybe that's what I should do. Bishop f8, yeah? That kind of adds the idea of playing a6 at some point. Okay, now I should play a6. Okay, white can exchange on f6 by playing knight f6 check, I guess, although who knows, maybe I can play king h8 in that case. Not that clear if that's a playable move, actually, because on queen b3 I'll have bishop e6, then c4. Okay, but white has to definitely calculate that before making a final decision. Okay, now should I play bishop e6? I suppose I should, just to kick that. Okay, that's a significant giveaway. Okay, now bishop g5 is a threat, so I could play h6 to stop it, and that seems reasonable. Yes, now good question what to do. Knight a5 and knight d7. Knight a5, knight f6, still king h8. I don't know about knight a5. Knight d4. Then if black takes with a knight, pawn takes, and not so clear. But the best move seems to be knight d7, because capturing on d7 is actually not possible due to knight a5. How cool is that? And I actually defended all my pieces and pawns and stuff like that. So the way I found it is I wanted to make it work, and so just in case I checked if it does. That's the way you find moves like that in a blitz game. Play the move you want to play in your mind, see if maybe there's a tactic that works for it, and as you can see, it actually does. Okay, now I can simply play queen c7 and be happy that I have a nice position. I could also play b5. I could also play b5. Followed by b4. Should I do that? Let me go with that. b5. Take some space out of this. Take some space. Space. Okay, h5 I'm not worried about. There's still knight a5 as a possibility. So g5. Alright. Let white sack the piece, I don't mind. Let's see if that's possible. I don't mind it. I don't think it's going to be enough. He'll be bit, but not enough. Okay, now I can actually play knight a5 and knight d4. Like knight d4. Should I take first and c4? Should I just play rook c8? Knight a5. Lots of possibilities, but limited time. Yeah, what if I just defend everything? Let's defend everything. Okay, take this with a rook. And take that with a queen. Probably, I don't mind a trade here, right? I don't think I should mind trading queens into descending. Okay, knight f6 to stop these pieces coming at me. I'll defend a couple of them at the same time. Let me speak up a little bit because I think I've been a bit low, so I'm going to speak up if you guys don't mind, so you can hear me a little better. Okay, what's going on here? Any threats? Not really. Queen takes d3, therefore looks possible. Possible to do that. Queen d3, bishop h3, and then what? e4? No, so I don't want to do that. So let's just Okay, let's just play rook d8 and rook. Okay, and bishop e7. Maybe on that. No, now knight d4, of course. Hit that queen quickly. Let it go away. Okay, now let's start taking some stuff. It's enough. It's time to take some stuff. Alright, rook d6. e5 is kind of protected. Knight f3 check can be done. There's knight f3 check. There's one rook. There's second rook. It's a lot of rooks. And there are the queen trades. And 25 seconds should be enough to clean up here. No queens, no bishops, no pawns, no anything. Yeah, game over. Wow, okay, that was a tough one. Of course, it was very interesting. But something with my volume, from what I understand. I'm trying to fix it, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is exactly, so I'm gonna have to up and down everywhere I can. It looks like everything's fine, but I guess I'm coming over too low, from what I understand. So let's see what happens in the next game. I'll try screaming and see if that helps. And my microphone is right next to my mouth, but somehow we're not getting enough sound out of this. Now this was a very complicated opening. White's playing a classic King's Indian attack, in other words, a reverse King's Indian, and I played knight d6, queen d5, and bishop f8. So knight e4, that all seemed reasonable. And now I played a6, queen. Okay, well, explanation is going to come later, I guess. Meanwhile, I got my bishop to f4, and I'm looking cheerful as always. Okay, and let's get the knight out to f3. Aha! White gets in, black gets in his queen move first. Fine. Queen c1 for me. c4. I don't mind it either way. And knight c3. Let's see how this goes. I like my position. Oh, well, especially after this move. I don't understand what that bishop's doing there. You want to take my knight? Be my guest. If not, why did you come? Why did you come? I'm asking you loudly enough, hopefully. Alright, well, let's see. I guess we should just play c5 and just start roller coasting this baby up the board. La 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 la. Oh, okay, it's my move. I better make a move, right? I better make a move. Okay, so engage the. Let's play knight h4, I think. I really want that bishop. I'll be happy if I get that bishop. Let's put it this way. You're gonna have to make a little bit of a weakness together. Black takes on c3. I'll probably take on. Okay, well that's my bishop. Take that guy. Take that guy. And play b4. Play b5, obviously. All right, let's attack this pawn. Before black takes f4. Well, no real need to do that, but fine. I did it. Play b5. Create a weak pawn on c6 and hope to do something about it. Let's see if that works. Well, let's see if my mic just improved. I'm trying different things. Hopefully it did. And now I'm going to take this and take my rook to the b file. Obviously black wants to attack me on the king side. And I'm going to have to be looking at that. I'm going to have to be looking at that idea of black playing rook g6 and some kind of attack. I don't really see it. Okay, this is okay because black does not have a rook to put on the file, and I do. So now I should probably keep the knight. So I can hit that knight with knight f4 or something like that. That rook, I mean. And then I'm going to play queen a3, rook b1, queen a6. That's my idea. Start bringing my pieces onto these nice squares. Ooh! Okay, well, let's see. Well, let's put the rook on b1 and put it on b3 for now. See if black wants to take that one. So then I'll take ab. And then I'm going to play something interesting. Like queen a6. And, okay, now that I forced that change in the position, I should be quite happy. Okay, black is moving his knights there, but I'm playing for b4, b5. That's my idea. And that has always been my idea. And let's see what black does about that. I don't know what black does about that. I think that's a pretty serious idea. Here it is. Okay. Now I have a protected passed c pawn, which is going to be a major pain in the neck for black. And of course black has no time. Okay. Should I play c6 or just okay? What does white? Black wants to play g3, f4. Maybe I should just play g3 to stop it. Okay, h4 now. h4 now. Okay. Interesting. I like black to play h4. Let's see if he does. Alright, there we go. Now what? Now what? Aha, now this one. Okay. Now should I take? I'll play just knight f4. I don't know. Take this one first. Okay, and this was the trick I was going for, actually. Boys and girls. That's my big trick. Knight d5 check. Yep. Alright. Let's see if I can get another game. So this was a tough game. This was actually, my opponent wasn't playing badly at all, but he did give me a slight advantage, and that advantage kind of slowly materialized into something more important than slight, as I was taking control of the queen side. Now here black maybe should have played something like knight e4, or something like that, but he didn't. Anyway, up against the Blitz King. Here I am. Alright. Alright. King's Indian it is. What can I do? Nothing I can do about that. It has to be the King's Indian then. Aha. Okay, well, let's play against that bishop as much as we can. Okay. I think I can play a4 here. And if white plays b4, I can play a3. Okay, here the pawn on a3 is not going to be too bad, but the a file is so scrumptious. Let me grab that instead. Okay, now knight g4 is possible. That looks nice. Knight g4. Getting my pieces out there. Alright, let's get that in. I think black is pretty well positioned here. And well, here I'm thinking bishop takes d4, knight d3 is not bad. White can't quite stay there. He goes queen d1. I take the rook. Takes my bishop, playing knight a2. It looks like it wins. I don't know. I'm gonna go for it because I don't see refutation. And it's a Blitz game. What do I have to lose? On queen d4, I'll have f6. So why not? I can even play knight b3. Then I want to win b queen d4, right? Oh, missed that one completely. Missed that completely. I missed that completely, but I have rook e6. Completely missed that move. Okay, I'm up a rook. That's a lot of stuff, but rook e6, fgc6. I think I have to do this. But I missed 95. I think I wouldn't have played this had I seen 95. Pretty sure. It's a big difference. Now I'm trying to play c6 for sure. Can't stand up knight on d5. That's crazy to stand it. Wow. This could be my loss. My one loss for the day. But we'll see. We'll see. Can you hear me? We'll see if it will be my one loss. God, how bad is this microphone situation? I don't understand why it doesn't sound good. That's what I don't understand. Alright, well, this is a tactical position for sure, and my opponent is definitely trying to find out the tactics. Okay, that's a mate in one thread, so I better do that. There's no question about this. Not sure that was the best move. I thought something knight f4 was good, but now I'm threatening knight d3 besides everything else, and I think white has to take on f6. But then I couldn't be worse in that position. In fact, I'm bound to be better. It will be even pawns, and I'll have a better pawn structure. Kind of cool. If that's the case. Let's see what white comes up with. It's got to be something very, very quick. I don't see anything besides knight f6, but actually knight f6, rook f6, bishop f6, queen f6, queen c1, queen d4 check, and rook a2. Yeah, there it is. No rook c1, this is queen d6 check. Alright, that's a cool idea. But I'm gonna go after that. Queen d6 c5, that's a bit nasty. That's extremely nasty. So if I play rook a2, then I'm going to get what I want, right? Yes, clip that bishop, that's good. Okay, even material. Better pawn structure, that's how I value it. Okay, rook a1, definitely better pawn structure. Anything else? Queen b2. And a queen g something, queen f3, check, rook f2. I'll get rook a1 and when I need to, so definitely queen b2 here. Definitely queen b2. First. To make my next move more forcing. I like it. Okay, now check on d4. Looks excellent. Alright, now queen rook a1 actually wins a pawn. Okay, interesting. Yes, I'm That's the C pawn. It's the pawn that wins. Take it, take it. Okay. Now wins another pawn, or it doesn't. Queen b4, right? If queen e6, queen b4. If I just take, play queen f7, queen b8. Okay, interesting, interesting, interesting. What's the best way of handling this? I think the best way is to actually create a pass pawn as quickly as possible. That's the best thing. Let white take on b7 and just push the e pawn quickly. I think that's what I have to do. Yeah. And now I'm going to go up the board with my king as fast as I can. And up with my pawns as well. Everything I can throw at white is going up there. Up there somewhere. Okay, queen c6. King b4. e3. More stuff to throw at okay. Oh, interesting sudden change of heart by white. Okay, now I'm going to improve my queen. A little bit, just a little bit. Okay, now I gotta go back. Well, queen f2 is mate, right? I can go to g5 actually. Not that many checks after g5. There's not that many checks after king 5 either, so pretty safe with the checks. Okay, there's some checks. There are some checks. Okay, I was wrong about the checks. There's plenty of checks. Here we go. Lots of checks. Lots of checks. By white. I got some checks too. I got another check here just in case white wants to play on this position. And it's nice to report that although you guys didn't hear me much, from what I understand, I did win all my games today, which is kind of cool and almost incredible considering how badly I played. So there you go. You can learn something from today. It doesn't matter how badly you play, it's whether your opponent plays a little bit worse or slower, which was the case in a couple of games. So this was Max Dlugy with the Take It to the Max show, and I hope you enjoyed it, even though I understand we're going to have to fix the sound and the loudness of my voice here. Alright, all the best, and see you next week.